Canada is facing a catastrophic drug crisis. Once hidden in the shadows, drug abuse now invades our streets and schools. This video reveals the terrifying rise of drug use, its devastating impact on our youth, and the urgent need for action. Drug use in Canada is skyrocketing, especially among our youth. In the last 5 years, the number of students experimenting with drugs has doubled. In cities like Vancouver, Toronto, and Edmonton, addicts openly use substances on the streets, turning once safe neighborhoods into zones of despair. Recent data shows that drug-related incidents in schools have increased by 60%, with students as young as 13 being caught with illegal substances. This epidemic is tearing apart our communities and putting everyone at risk. Children and teenagers are the most vulnerable in this crisis. Recent surveys indicate that nearly 20% of high school students have tried drugs at least once. In Vancouver, the number of students admitted to rehab facilities has tripled in the past 3 years. Take Emily, a 15-year-old who fell into addiction after being offered drugs at a party. Her grades plummeted, she lost her friends, and her future now hangs in the balance. The physical and psychological effects on young users are severe. Drugs stunt their development, impair brain function, and lead to chronic health issues. Addiction often leads to behavioral problems, causing students to drop out of school and engage in criminal activities. Families are torn apart, watching helplessly as their children spiral out of control. The emotional toll on parents and siblings is immense, creating a cycle of despair and hopelessness. The danger extends beyond the addicts themselves. Public safety is compromised as drug users become increasingly desperate and violent. In Calgary, a drug-fueled attack left a mother of 2 critically injured. In Montreal, public parks and transit stations have turned into no-go zones due to the frequent presence of drug users. Statistics reveal the most affected cities. Vancouver, Toronto, and Edmonton top the list, followed closely by Montreal and Winnipeg. These cities have seen a sharp rise in drug-related crimes, including theft, assault, and vandalism. Residents live in fear, avoiding certain areas and changing their daily routines to stay safe. The financial cost of this crisis is also staggering, with millions of dollars spent on healthcare, law enforcement, and rehabilitation. But why is this happening? The surge in drug use is fueled by a combination of economic stress, social isolation, and the availability of potent synthetic drugs. The COVID-19 pandemic has worsened these issues, pushing more people towards substance abuse as a coping mechanism. Unemployment, poverty, and lack of support systems have created a perfect storm, leading to a dramatic increase in addiction rates. Let's delve into the facts and effects of the most common drugs ravaging our communities. Opioids, highly addictive and often deadly. Opioids cause severe respiratory issues, brain damage, and increased risk of infectious diseases. Methamphetamines. These drugs cause extreme weight loss, dental problems, skin sores, and severe psychological issues like paranoia and hallucinations. Synthetic cannabinoids. Often more potent than natural cannabis, these drugs can cause violent behavior, heart attacks, and kidney damage. The physical health effects include organ failure, weakened immune systems, and chronic pain. Mentally, drug abuse leads to anxiety, depression, and psychosis. Long-term users often experience irreversible brain damage, affecting their ability to think, learn, and remember. The social impact is equally devastating, leading to broken families, lost jobs, and homelessness. We must act now. The longer we wait, the more we risk losing an entire generation to addiction. The future of Canada is at stake, and the time for complacency is over. We need comprehensive strategies to prevent drug use, provide support for addicts, and ensure that our streets and schools are safe for everyone. Education programs, better access to mental health services, and stricter law enforcement are crucial steps towards combating this crisis. In summary, the drug crisis in Canada is a ticking time bomb. It's destroying lives, families, and communities. We must raise our voices, demand better support systems, and work together to combat this epidemic. The future of our children and our nation depends on it. Stand with us in the fight against drugs.